Madam President, at the outset, I congratulate the Democratic Republic of Congo for assuming the presidency of the Council for this month. I also take this opportunity to thank SRSG Pramila Patton and the briefer for her insights. Today's open debate is on a subject that warrants collective deliberation by member states, particularly in the wake of findings of the UNSG's report on conflict-related sexual violence that corroborates a sharp increase in verified cases in 2025 and the extreme brutality involved. Sexual violence continues to be used as a means of war, of terrorism, torture, and political repression to subjugate communities, suppress dissent, and inflict human suffering. This continues amid a thriving culture of impunity. We strongly condemn such heinous acts. Madam President, conflict-related sexual violence devastates women individually and creates inerasable scars on the spirit of the human ecosystems around them. Beyond physical harm, the psychological trauma and social isolation that follows demand carefully designed interventions for the rehabilitation and reintegration of survivors. Addressing this scourge, therefore, calls for a multifaceted national approach aimed towards deterring and prosecuting such crimes and ensuring delivery of justice to the victims. Madam President, in India's experience, deployment of women peacekeepers is a proven measure with transformative impact in addressing CRSV. The first ever all-women formed police unit of the UN deployed by India to Liberia in 2007 was instrumental in creating an environment for addressing criminality, deterring sexual and gender-based violence, and in helping to rebuild safety and confidence among people. The unique perspective brought by female peacekeepers also strengthens systems to deter CRSV. In this context, I'd like to highlight the contribution of Major Moiz Yaseen, who as Force Ombudsperson and Welfare Officer in UNMISS, built an accessible, confidential, and victim-centered channel for informal grievance reporting. She conducted over 40 tailored sessions across troop and police contributing countries and military observers, and also established a force gender database for evidence-based gender-responsive planning. Another example is Major Sonia Devendra Nevaskar, the focal point for uniformed women and a member of the UNMISS Gender Task Force. She worked actively towards the intelligence and planning functions for CRSV prevention, built UNPOL military best practice networks, and engaged the host nation on gender issues. I'm happy to report that both Major Moiz Yaseen and Major Sonia are being awarded the 2026 Military Gender Advocate of the Year recognition certificate by the UN Secretary General for their remarkable efforts. They follow in the illustrious footsteps of peacekeepers from India who have been similarly honored in 2019, 2024, and 2025. Madam President, our international efforts to combat CRSV flow from our domestic policy based on a three-pronged approach to eliminate violence against women. This includes, first, creating an environment that fosters women's safety. Second, effective implementation of legislation to safeguard it. And third, infrastructure that supports women in distress. Guided by this approach, we have instituted a pan-India helpline, 181 for women in distress, operational across the country. India has also rolled out the Safe City project in major cities to create an environment of safety for women in public spaces. Women help desks have been established in police stations nationwide, and over 900 Sakhi one-stop centers have been established across the country for women in distress. They offer shelter and medical, legal, psychological support for them under one roof so that they receive the care, comfort, and protection they need. India's penal code was also revamped by introducing stringent provisions in criminal law for violence against women, including enhanced penalties for sexual offenses and instituting survivor-centric procedures to safeguard the dignity and rights of victims. Fast-track special courts have been set up to ensure efficient investigation and prosecution of offenders. These efforts are also underpinned by the Nirbhaya Fund with a corpus of nearly $930 million specifically dedicated for initiatives on women's safety. Madam President, in closing, I'd like to underscore that India remains committed to working with the UN and the wider membership to share our experience and assistance to ensure that women remain protected and survivors receive the justice they deserve across the world. Thank you, Madam President.